Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, this is Rosa. Hopefully, your favorite real estate broker. All right, my friends, it is time to get rolling here. It is almost the weekend. And I know that everybody's got a lot going on, right? But what I wanted to do is really kind of get down to the bottom of things. Well, what do you mean, Rob? Get down to the bottom of things. Let's be real, right? Let's be real. Let's talk about what's on your mind. Let's talk about the misconceptions that right now buyers and sellers have in real estate, because I can promise you there's quite a lot of them, my friends, right? There's a lot of confusion out here in the market today. And of course, I want to hear your comments and questions. We're just going to be together for a few minutes. And I want to, basically remind you that there's a lot of ins and outs when it comes to home buying, when it comes down to home selling. And for some people it seems impossible, right? And what happens is, because of the fears, because of the confusion, well, technically it seems like there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of things that people think that they know, but the reports are showing differently. So first off, there's a new report from Cleaver found that buyers are confused on a lot of the aspects of the housing market and home buying, with 83% of homeowners saying they were surprised when they bought a home by the home buying process. And Terry, Chrissy, Linda, thank you so much for joining us, and appreciate any likes and shares. 83% say they were surprised. And even when they entered the market, 63% of home buyers said that they had to adjust their priorities. Hey, Rich, thank you so much for joining us. They had to adjust their priorities. They weren't sure about things. They weren't sure what was the best way to go about things. Okay. 65%, and we see this happening quite often right now, had to adjust their budget. They weren't sure about, okay, well, what are the interest rates? And we're going to talk about, I have some statistics, easy for you to say. I have some statistics on that as well. Okay. So in addition to being confused, in addition to having to adjust priorities, in addition to having to adjust their budget, what we found is that non-homeowners, they're overly anxious about what's going on with the market, about how to even buy a property. So about 45% of buyers, and these are not my numbers, I'm going to share the sources with you. About 45% of buyers said they are worried about buying the wrong home. Are they getting a real estate agent, an inspector, someone who's going to be able to help them find that right home? When only 20% of current homeowners report feeling buyer's remorse. So 45% said they're worried, 20% say they have remorse. About 78% of non-homeowners, let's say renters and people living with their parents and so forth, or friends, they think that buying a home will be stressful. So 78%, right, are saying, oh, wow, you know what? I'm not going to buy a home because it's going to be too stressful. But in reality, only 47% of homeowners said that it was. Okay. Hey, Monica, Carrie, Dragon, John, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. What we're talking about right now are the misconceptions with home buyers and home sellers and what's going on in the marketplace right now. So here's some key highlights. There's a lot of numbers I'm throwing out at you, but I thought that it was important to go over some of these things to kind of bring light to the misconceptions and bring light to the truth, right? Here's something you might not know. The average age of a first-time home buyer is 36 years old. But so that's 36 years old. It's not bad. 73% of Americans, 73% thought the age was much younger. 73% of Americans, right? 73% of Americans don't think homes are affordable right now. Okay. But 60% underestimate the median home price, right? They underestimate it. So right now, and again, I think these are numbers probably from June. The median price ranges between 400 and about 500, give or take, depending on the week, depending on the month. We're saying the median, that middle price, is between $400,000 and $500,000. Many people are underestimating it. They're thinking that it should be much lower, but it just shows you, really what's going on with the market, what you need to be concerned about, and so forth. All right, get to the next point. Many homeowners, they're misjudging how much it will actually cost to purchase a home. Now, I think this should be a pretty easy thing, because when I do an initial consultation with my buyers, I discuss the closing costs. And I'm a real estate broker. I discuss the down payment. But many homeowners thought that it would be different. And 1 in 3, so 34%, have actually paid more money out of their pocket than they initially planned. Right? So that's probably some of the misconceptions. And even in addition to that, homeowners are spending about $13,150 annually on home-related expenses. Now, when we talk about home-related expenses, we're talking about utilities, we're talking about maintenance, we're talking about different improvements that need to be made, right, to a particular home. 48% of Americans thought that it would have been less than that $13,150. Hey, Dwayne, Danielle, Kaba, thank you so much for joining us. Kenneth, definitely appreciate you. Right, what we're going over is some of the misconceptions about home ownership. Okay, yes, when we buy a home, we think it's going to be one way, and it turns out to be the other way. Okay, here's another example. 23% of non-homeowners think saving for a down payment will be the most challenging part of buying a home. So 23% believe that saving for that down payment is the hardest part, but really, when it turns out afterwards and they do the survey, it only turns out to be about 8% think that that's the most challenging part. Okay, so again, there's another misconception. Now, when it comes to being during the real estate process, right, many agents, the real estate agent, the buyer who's representing you, they're going to be that person to keep in touch with the seller or the seller's agent. They're going to be that person to keep in touch with the lender and making sure that things are happening the right way. At least that's what we do on our team, right? But basically, 2 in 3 homeowners, right? So 65% of non-homeowners, of people who are renting right now, they think that that's going to be their responsibility. So I can tell you very straightforwardly, hey, Donna, hey, Sleepy Gramps, hey, Rye, thank you so much for the likes. If you're buying a home and you get yourself involved with a great agent, they are going to be that person who will be responsible to stay in touch with the seller and the seller's agent. They will also, with your help, yes, you're going to also stay in touch with the lender. You're going to stay in touch with the attorney. But for the most part, when it comes to dealing with the seller, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. How about this one? Now, we're going to talk specifically about Connecticut, right? That in Connecticut, not all the time, this is not number one, but most of the time, the sellers pay the commission. Right? But 62% of Americans, they think that the buyer pays their agent's commission. Now, they might be signing a buyer rep agreement and saying that yes, they are responsible, but I can tell you, where does the money technically come from in most cases? It will come from that particular seller. So that's another thing. So here's the major takeaway. I'm going to let you go, is that education and what happens with the real estate process is of most importance. Hey, Scott, Terry, Esso, thank you so much for joining us. Education is what's most important. I'm here to help you, whether it's a buyer, whether it's seller, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial. I'm here to help educate you on the process, make you feel more comfortable. So if you have questions that come up, just check me out, direct message me. I'm available. If you need referrals, I'm available every step of the way. That's everything I got for you today. I hope you have an awesome, amazing day. God bless you. And this is Rob Rosa. Hope your favorite real estate broker. Signing out, my friends. Talk to you soon.